Hello, today I'm going to show you the interrupt controller for this homemade 8088. So if you've been following this is my motherboard here. It runs in minimum mode. We've got our SPI adapter. This allows us to use a Raspberry Pi for basically the video, keyboard, hard drive, timer. Got our RAM here. There's 1 megabyte, no ROM. Got my parallel port here. And then here I've got my interrupt controller. This is my first test. So as you can see, it's running. We've got these jumpers here to disable interrupts, and I've removed the jumper for the interrupt disable. And I've just got my breadboard over here. I've got a push button. So to set this up through the code in my BIOS, I've modified this. It's not currently available for download, so you'd have to add this. To set up, I've got my control words, 1, 2, and 4. We don't need 3. With my card, you can only have one controller. It's not built to have cascaded or slave controllers. Maybe in the future I'll build one that can. But this is on port 20, and as I've said before, this is quasi PC compatible, so that's where your PC has it. So for the control word 1, we've got 1B. Control word 2, we got 8. Control word 4, we got 1. And then the last one here, I've got it's to mask all but IRQ 0. This just helps with the hardware side of things. Let me show you this run. So we run the program. Gonna boot up. Cleared the screen. Waiting for DOS to load. This is a 16 megahertz board with the V20, not the 8088. Alright, so there's our prompt. And I'm just going to push this button. It's tied into IRQ 0. And you can see that when I push the button, it triggers interrupt 8, IRQ 0. I'll try it again. And all this does is just prints to the screen. That's all the code does. I can show you that. But if you hit enter, see, it's not putting it in the keyboard buffer, so DOS is not actually accepting these as commands. So actually, if I push my button again, I can type dir, and it just takes dir, because it's not taking those as keystrokes, but that's really not relevant. Over here, so let's just pull up interrupt 8, and all this does is it teletypes interrupt 8, IRQ 0, and then I pause. This pause, it just made it run a little smoother. And then I don't have auto end of interrupt, so you have to put in the 20 out on 20 and then return. And obviously I've got my set interrupt flag, and at the beginning I've got my clear interrupt flag. So if you have any questions, give me an email. Thanks.